Morning. It's another day. It's another mission. I'm enjoying doing this. It takes. It's a fun thing to do. Making videos right now. Just outside with my doggies. That's Laika. She's an old lady. And well, Bambi. There she is. Say hi. Tell everybody who's watching right now. Hey. So, I would like to get back into the Montauk thing. It's a pretty fun thing to talk about, in my opinion. Just a little bit of shyness, given the fact that it's just theory, and how people look at conspiracy theories. But basically, that's my bread and butter right now. That I stopped talking about it, or rather, the video stopped recording. I think when I was talking about the ship, the USS Eldridge. Yeah. Now, if I remember correctly, the people got stuck. Some people, some crew members, some of the sailors in the ship, um, got stuck to the hull of the ship. They became part of the ship, and the rest of the others had a lot of psychological damage, trauma, etc., etc. All of them were dismissed, given the fact that we just are tossed around here and there by our officials. Not all of them, of course. It's just power struggle. We really don't know. The scheme is always like this. So I don't really give much thought of who's who and what's what. They'll show themselves when the time is right. So after that, they started doing research. After the accident, after people came and helped contain the accident, because it was contained. It wasn't something that was fixed. It was something that, according to the people that were involved in the project, caused a very big damage in the time and space continuum. And in order to contain it, we received help from ETs, extraterrestrials, and the like. I'm not really sure how that began to happen, but as I keep on speaking, we will discover together. In any case, what happened after that? They started doing research on mind control. Yeah, we all know about mind control. Those people who are in this circle of entertainment are very well aware of what mind control is, and the story of how the MK Ultra project began. And let's say, a lot of fruitful research was found, a lot of things that at the moment we are still very unaware of, on a wide scale. I believe, at this point, mind control and MK Ultra are still considered, garbage to the popular. No, it's not popular. Most of the population, right? Yeah. Because these central intelligence agencies spread misinformation. They blackmail, they intimidate individuals who get into this sort of thing, and it's hard to be taken seriously, given the fact that they use so much to deter you, to discredit you, to ridicule you in front of the rest, to make sure that your voice is not heard. And that, I think, is the reason why a lot of people don't like speaking about conspiracy theories, because it takes a toll on you, it takes a toll on your psyche, psychological manipulation, psychological warfare begins. You begin to be stalked. You know, and you know that you do get stalked. You do start to get investigated. You do start to get bullshit at your jobs. Um, Especially, because they don't tell you that they told the place that you have issues or that something happened and they're doing an investigation, and then you know they go on and just portray you as a completely different individual than who you are. And that's one easy way to mind control people. You don't have to use technological means or anything like non-conventional like that. All you have to do is spread rumors. That's how easy mind control is. All you have to do is um, let the people spread the rumor, let them believe it, let them see it that way for a while, and when that happens, they can take control of what they believe, but they cannot take control of what you believe. They will drive you insane, they will drive you to a corner, but it is only if you allow yourself to be drawn into that corner. It is only if you allow yourself to be that weak against them. Yeah, they got lots of people behind them. But think about it this way. Why do they need so many people to shut you up? Just one person. Why are they so afraid of? That is the one thing that I keep on asking myself every single time when I will hit a wall on this thing with the Montauk project and the things that I've been looking about it and all the other research that comes along with it, because it's a lot. It's not just mind control, it's, the sexual rituals, blah blah blah. You get the idea. The whole thing that you hear about conspiracy theorists connecting to that one too. In any case, they began that research. They began more private research in scientific fields. They began to be visited by these aliens. They began to be, I would like to call those contractors. Imagine that. Get it? Space contractors. They started to build what they call a chair and a helmet that will amplify a person's thoughts and ideas. And they started to use psychics for it. That's when, things get a little bit weird. Because, the government has been giving shit to those fucking people for a very long time. All those people that are spiritual and, what we call the New Age today. There's a lot of bad stuff there. Trust me, I know. But, same thing, Weeds, they die by themselves. You can tell the difference between the weeds and the good ones. Okay, going back. It's basically a means to an end, controlling and containing. Trying to control the rest of the population and trying to control the rest of the population by containing the people that were involved in the project. Because it was a very bad project. It just didn't happen for 4 hours. It's happening even now. As we speak, we're still being affected by the Montauk project and the Philadelphia experiment. And, ways that we are not aware of, I believe this, especially, something to do with the time and space continuum. Something to do with reality itself. It gets scary if you think about it too much. Right now, my mind gets blank. Don't really know why, but going back to the psychics, they began. The story goes, or what I remember, they began to connect this man to a chair and helmet, and through television, through TV monitors, they began to see what was inside his head. I think they began, with the manifestation things, and looking into the past lives. It's almost as if Assassin's Creed was based on that. When I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, gave me an idea. I didn't know about the Montauk Project at the time, but it kind of made me feel like it was inspired by or based on it. You put a guy on a chair, and like he goes and looks into memories of his past descendants, Desmond, and and well, what have we made video games out of it. So I guess what I'm seeing in my head, and as what I'm taking it, is basically this guy sitting on a chair meditating himself to death, will basically put his consciousness into past lives and relieve them. And everybody who will be at the vase, at the location where this guy was and where they were monitoring, they will actually see what he will see. They will see through his eyes. His eyes will turn into a camera, basically, and they will watch him live his life. And as time went by, I believe at first it was past lives. And as time began, as this individual began to develop more and more of a sense, National Guard, people, pause. Let's say hi. What the hell are you? Anyway. So I imagine that he began to, as he began to develop more and more of his psychic abilities, he amplified himself and became one with the universe, with the entire existence. He went through a lot of psychological trauma, things that we don't understand, things that only he understands, things that only he can explain. I imagine it must have been painful to live thousands of lives in such a little time, such a little amount of time, living the past and realizing that past is making your present and your future. They began to understand the laws of karma, the Tao, in my opinion, or at least the person who was in the chair. And as time went by, they began to modify the equipment. They began to mess with the equipment, and that's what caused another fucking problem. That's what got us here now. 1943, 1983, 2020. It's just like, we just love to give accidents. We just love to fuck shit up, don't we? And, well, after we broke that again, after we fucked up again, the aliens came down again. Whole crew of them came down, and they're like, guys, you don't deserve this. And basically took everything away. So basically, we've just been embarrassing ourselves as human beings, or whoever was in charge at the time. has been embarrassing us in front of like the entire galaxy. Sucks to think of it that way. You would really want it to be like it's in the movies, and I think it was about to be like in the movies. But like I said, something bad happened. Some bad woohoo happened. They really wanted to keep on controlling the people that were part of the project, part of the future project, because not only did they knew that they were gonna be stopped, or that the program at Montauk had to stop, but that didn't mean that the project was gonna be halted or just forgotten. It was just gonna continue quietly, and quietly you will gather the people, the individuals that were part of a team that was supposed to bring time travel to the people. They were supposed to tell the people, we've been keeping this secret for certain reasons, and we apologize for that, but this is what came out of it. And all those people that were part of the project, that were part of that that were involved in that part of the project, they ended up very disappointed with what happened. They don't have to tell me. I know. They got really, really disappointed. And it's just a sour moment right now, I believe, for everybody who is involved in this project right now. It sucks, because nobody wants to admit their fault. Nobody wants to be brave enough and say, you know what, yes, this happened, and we have to keep on moving, we have to keep on working, we have to keep containing this goddamn accident. We need to keep entertaining the people in a good way, not distracted, entertaining. But who am I, right? An unemployed ass dude right now. Yeah, I don't use that against you. That's on me. In any case, I will continue to think about it. Actually, no. Yeah. So, basically, after they started to mess with past lives, and they began, they also had not just that program, the past lives. They also had manifestation techniques where this individual will sit and think about something, and it will just appear out of thin air. He will basically, make it with his mind, and the chair will help amplify it and, make it appear in the real world. Basically, I think it was like a pushing his abilities as a psychic individual to the limit, maximizing it, amplifying what a human can do with his single mind. And I believe that if that were to be the case, he turned into the equipment. He became one with the equipment and became one with everything, and with it, left a big message that nobody else knows about. Like I said, it's a personal thing. And then they began to mess with wormholes, with portals, all the good stuff that we see in science fiction. When they began to mess with portals and wormholes, more bad shit happened, because they started to time travel. They couldn't time travel with the time machine. They had to use this individual, and they had to start to find a way to not use the individual, because the individual was sabotaging their mission or whatever they were trying to achieve. That part of the team, because it was a coup at the time, and obviously throughout the time. They couldn't handle it back then. They still need to handle it right now. It's a never-ending battle in this timeless project, I call it. A never ending battle for control. When we have power, we get intoxicated with it. Power is a really, really strong thing. And when we have power, sometimes we don't really know what to do with it, or we think that we can get away with whatever we want because we're not really aware of how to use that power. We have to learn how to use it. We do learn from the mistakes we make. But if we're, trying to keep on making this, fooling ourselves and the rest of the world, by all means. But gradually, as things happened, events have to happen, events have to occur in order for the project to continue. I believe that the project came to an end back in 1983 when this individual manifested a gigantic monster that they called Junior. This monster, manifested and basically destroyed the base. He destroyed the entire base. A lot of other things happened. Not really sure exactly what, but I see it like this in my mind's eye. This Junior thing came out. It's a big shadowy monster. It looks like a Sasquatch. But I don't believe it was just Junior. I think it was a whole lot more. And that there's something odd at that place. Not in the sense of like they're gonna go and kill you if you go and approach it, but rather if you're opening portals, you have to think about the consequences. What are you gonna bring in? If there are other dimensions, if there are other realities that are invisible to our eyes and inaccessible, you will open portal to an unknown place, to a completely new perspective of what reality is. These people, I'm sure, these individuals and other realities, they're far more aware of what's going on than us as human beings. I think we're the lowest. We're the lowest of the lowest tier. So, in my opinion, I believe that a lot of those things stayed in Montauk, in the forest, as protectors, as ghosts and whatnot. That's all for now. Gotta get my head together and read a little bit more. I'll go into past lives in my next video because I really like that topic.